Okay, so let's talk about testosterone. It's a hormone a lot of people want to know about. It does a lot of good things, and it's important to understand where it's having its impact. So, here's the thing to know about testosterone. It's an anabolic hormone. And so when we say it's anabolic, what that means is it builds tissues up. Now, most famously, it builds up muscle. So it is definitely involved with building muscle. Now, that's important because the more muscle mass you have when you move around from point A to point B, the more energy that you use. And so this is really, really important. It also, though, burns some fat. It does this through many different mechanisms. And so it has this very interesting way of making the body look more athletic, leaner, and more muscular. Now, it also has brain effects. And the effects in the brain have to do with drive and motivation and focus and sort of this winning attitude. So oftentimes men in particular, when they have lower testosterone levels, they will start to feel less like themselves, less achievement oriented, more depressed. Certainly that's the case for women as well. And in both men and women with testosterone, libido is a big one. We definitely know that testosterone, along with estrogen, is playing a role in libido. Now, one of the big differences between men and women and testosterone has to do with the belly and belly fat. Here's the interesting thing that we know. In men with a higher testosterone ratio relative to cortisol have leaner waists, tend to have leaner waists. But men have thicker, much thicker waists than women do in general. And this is because while testosterone is sort of a belly fat reducing hormone in men, estrogen is far more powerful than testosterone, which is why women tend to be leaner through the midsection and not as bulky through the midsection as men. And this is really interesting because there's a subset of women with polycystic ovarian syndrome who have very high levels of testosterone. There's also athletic populations of women who do a lot of testosterone-oriented activities, and you can see thicker waists in these women and a little bit of loss of the hourglass shape in women with this more testosterone-dominant effect. The other beautiful thing here is that testosterone can be converted into estrogen. And so sometimes when women can't tolerate estrogen hormones due to breast cancer risks and things like that, testosterone can be used in lieu of that, so you get some estrogen effects out of it. Same thing with men, though, by the way. Men taking testosterone, oftentimes it can be aromatized into estrogen and lead to gynecomastia, which is enlargement of the nipples, and it can lead to other sort of heavier body fat storage in the lower body. It can have other negative effects. It also can be turned into DHT, which has some libido enhancing effects and also some male pattern baldness effects, and can even impact women's loss of hair in menopausal women as well. So testosterone is a great hormone for many reasons. It also helps build bone, which is wonderful, but also has some of these other effects. So it's not this thing where we just want to elevate testosterone at all costs, but we definitely want to make sure we're getting enough testosterone and not too much testosterone. And one of the ways that we can do that is by lifestyle effects, just getting plenty of high intensity exercise, lots of good quality movement to tamper down cortisol levels, which help testosterone express itself better. Getting plenty of sleep is another testosterone promoter, and specifically not going too low in any of the macronutrients, not going too low in carb, too low in fat, or too low in protein. All of that helps to optimize testosterone. The other really interesting thing about all hormones, but especially things like testosterone and estrogen, is there's this bell-shaped curve of optimal testosterone levels. And so you don't want too much and you don't want too little. And oftentimes when your weight is too much, people who are very overweight, you can get problems with testosterone, either too low or too high. And when the weight is too little, you can get effects as well. Typically, if you're too lean, you might have lower testosterone levels, and if you're too heavy, you might have lower testosterone levels. So we want to optimize body composition, oftentimes to optimize these steroid hormones, if that makes sense. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of background on testosterone and how it is used.